What's up, permaculture people? This is the dirt goat out here in East Belfast, looking at the first real potential Belfast Yard Farm connection urban farm. So these people responded to a flyer I put out in town, and they're really interested in learning to grow food for themselves and to give back to the community in one way or another, either through farm stand, community garden, renting land to urban farmers for CSAs or market gardens. Lots of possibilities, maybe all things at different times and overlapping over time. We'll see. We're eventually first going to start with just getting them the basics of, homesteading, growing for yourself, and see how much they want to scale up. But what I've been doing out here is I looked at some contour maps and got a general gist of, the topography of the land. And then I'm just kind of sketching by eye, possible or hopefully somewhat close to accurate contour line bed layout ideas. So I'm using keyline principles to guide me. So starting, I basically divided these areas up into rectangles with like a large buffer around the perimeter of this whole place, thinking of how to access it. So just looking at all the points of access and making sure that those are roads for machines, wheelbarrows, people, vehicles, whatever. And then kind of carving out naturally presented rectangles just to be able to, quantize the area. So this is a main laneway right here between this rectangle and this rectangle. There's two more rectangles past this over there, and they're all, like I said, just more or less parallel lines approximating contour by visual estimate based on a contour map, guidance. But this is the main big bed right here in the most full sun. This would likely become a market garden for CSA or co-op or buying club, whatever. However they decide they want to organize those involved in participating in this whole farm venture. But the idea being, like I said, just get super local food to people right in the area and hopefully getting them involved in the growing, buying, contributing something, getting them involved in the whole system other than just being, consumers going to get food at a store in town from farms surrounding us, which isn't bad, of course. We have a really healthy local food scene here, but the whole impetus behind this idea and project is to get super local food grown by, for, and with your neighbors. So the people with land who are willing to have it be grown on do that, and deciding how they want to do it, what marketing or just community involvement they want to do based on who's around them, who's also interested in playing a part in the whole collaboration, either just providing labor for space, doing work parties together as a community, or buying into a CSA that's run as an urban market farm by a professional market farmer or urban farmer, however you want to define it. But this is, prime space, full sun, gentle slope, approximating contour. All my footpaths are, where footpaths would be, and the blank snows where beds would be, or something like that. This is for, tight spaced, maximal bed space. I think that, the footpaths would be wider. This is just a tracing, but just to approximate what could happen here in the future. We're gonna start on this in the spring. This whole section here may be later. As I said, it's huge, and we want to take full advantage of it and not do a little thing that could obscure what could become a bigger, better thing. So I think this spring we're going to start out where I started this video, back up towards that shed where there's smaller rectangles, smaller lots drawn out, where I could design and install and educate the clients on how all these things work, and get them used to tending a garden regularly for home use. And as they scale up, move on to the next rectangle. I think there's 4 acres here total, including surrounding woods, which we're gonna get into. But in terms of growing space, I'd say from what I've traced around walking, there's at least a 1/4 acre, which is plenty for 2 people who have never grown before to get used to. And obviously we'll start with way less than that to begin with. But yeah, here, this rectangle here is a possible beginning spot. I'm trying to walk in the same paths I've already made, so this drawing that I've done in the snow remains pristine, at least for a little while. But these 2 right here are likely, there's these 3 sets. That's a rectangle, that straight line going through separates. There's number 2 and number 3. So like I said, they're just approximate walked contour lines that they you know, kind of connect to each other between these beds. But I decided to make these rectangles to kind of just distinguish one plot from another. But I think my guessing was pretty good, because a lot of the contour lines just line up to others and continue on. But we can, you know, fence in one area at a time, keep animals out, knowing that there might be a wider perimeter in the long run, but being able, you know, trying to plan them so that you can just do one at a time and not have to fence in a whole giant thing you're not going to use for a while. But anyways, this I think where it's going to start, either this one or this one, kind of right out the back door. So yeah, that's what's going on out here. First hopeful probable. So they seem very enthusiastic and excited about getting this going. So I think it's going to be key to start small and simple and go step by step and just progressively grow this operation to its full potential over time. So very excited to see that. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.